you so much for having me back, guys. So excited. What I'd like to have us consider for the next, I don't know, 20 minutes. How long have I'm going to talk about 10, maybe less. And then you're going to talk to each other. And I'd like us to consider what next. So in my career working with corporate teams, that's one of the
Sorry, Kay. Some folks were just coming in. It caused a little mic. And if you can be as project with your actress voice, that will be excellent. Some folks are having a little hard time hearing you.
Shall I try my American accent as well? Okay. All right. Great. I love it when I love getting close to the camera because I look big. It's great. In my work in the corporate world, I was fond of saying to my clients, this is all useless unless you use it. Because so many times I would go in there and do a workshop and everyone would be delighted and amazed and they'd go away with all these amazing intentions. And then I get called back in a year later to do exactly the same thing.
You're gonna say fucking. Say fucking.
Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Those of you who know me know that that's going to happen soon anyway. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about things to consider as we plan to take this work that we're doing forward into our lives and into the world. And believe me, it is so important to me that you take this into the world because we don't need any more bullshit. We need action in this world and we are the people to do it. So little political lecture over. 3 things that I'd like to talk to you about. One is, thank you, Christine. One is to consider the concept of obliquity, oblique action. And I'll come back and tell you more about that. Those of you who are interested, there is an amazing book called Obliquity by an economist called John Kay. It's really worth a read. So we're going to talk about that, considering the oblique action that might get you there faster than the direct action. Then I'd like to talk a little bit about cultivating empathy. Now, empathy is something that we as elders tend to be quite good at, but we can do even better. So I'll say a few words about that. And then I'm going to ask you to try to find space between the words. And those of you who've worked with me here know that I'm very fond of expressing things through the body as well as through words. And I'd like to encourage you all to do more of that as you take this work forwards. So let's start with obliquity, point 1. The truth is that the direct route is not always the most effective route to get where we want to go, especially if the direct route involves driving over a cliff. Driving over a cliff. So we are metaphor central here in Baja today. We've done metaphor so beautifully already, but I wanted to pick up on one that came up for me this morning. Someone said, I want to spread my wings, but I feel heaviness. I feel a weight that is stopping me from spreading my wings. And this reminded me of ballet. So if any of you have ever studied ballet, you will know that when we are doing Swan Lake, we don't fling our arms out. We imagine that we are pushing a weight. And then when we become the swan, it is so much more satisfying and beautiful for ourselves and for the audience. So I find that metaphor of spreading our wings as if pushing a little bit so powerful. And for those of you for whom the ballet metaphor doesn't work, I have some business metaphors. I'm playing all the bases today. A big pharmaceutical company called ICI, Imperial Chemicals, which was founded in 1926. And I'm going to read out what their mission was. ICI aims to be the world's leading chemical company serving customers internationally through the innovative and responsible application of chemistry and related science. ICI remained top of the tree until 1990 with that mission in mind. And they remained top of the profit tree. So because they were just attracting the best scientists, they stayed top of the profit tree until in 1991, an investor bought in. I'll give you the bastard's name. Lord Hanson it stayed on the top of the tree till he bought in. And then in 1997, under his influence, they announced a new strategy. The ICI group vision is to be the industry leader in creating value for customers and shareholders. You want to guess what happened? In 2007, after 82 years, ICI ceased to exist. As soon as they went to directly going for profit and shareholder return, they ceased to exist. They lost their mojo. Same thing happened to Boeing Aerospace. They used to have this thing, we eat, breathe, and sleep the world of aerodynamics. We eat, sleep, and breathe it. They attracted the best people. Their mission was not to make money until 2000, when another bastard, Phil Condit, I'm sorry if you know these people, but Phil Condit took over and he said, we are going into a value-based environment where unit costs, return on investment, shareholder return are the measures by which you will be judged. Guess what happened? Profits slumped immediately. So these are both case histories from John's book, Obliquity, but I want you to consider what might you do that is oblique, that is not directly doing what you say you're going to do. Can you have an oblique strategy to get where you want to go? So those of you who have a list, we've ticked obliquity now. We're moving into empathy, which I know you're all really good at. Another great book, Roman Zarnik. It's called Empathy, A Handbook for Evolution. And he basically has a couple of rules that I think we should all abide by. One is to cultivate curiosity. It's not just nodding and smiling. It's about really asking people what is going on with them, really, really getting to know them, so we can create those empathic bonds. It's about using your imagination to imagine what others might be feeling. I imagine you might be feeling uncomfortable sitting on the floor there. Can I help you to get up? Challenging our prejudices and discovering commonalities. What do I have in common with millennials? I love aubergines. I'm just talking to my son, who's a millennial. He loves aubergines. We talked aubergines for ages. It's great. Oh, that's eggplant in America. Sorry. Let's make a habit of focusing on the other person's needs and feelings and check that we have it right. And then those of you who've worked with me know, listen hard. Make listening a practice. Really listen to what the other is saying and play it back to them. So we've ticked obliquity. We've ticked empathy. We're now going to tick the last one, which is change your body, change your mind. I think when a lot of us set our goals, when we go away from here, it's things like, I'm going to set up a company, I'm going to set up a charity, I'm going to get mentees. What about little things? Can you all, wherever you are right now, please fold your arms? Just fold your arms. Can you all fold them the other way, please? Oh, how difficult that is, right? Carol's laughing at me because she's done this before. Hi, Carol. If you change just a few little physical habits every day, if you notice yourself going to open the refrigerator with your right hand, try opening it with your left hand. All of these tiny moments break down those boring cyclical patterns that we have. They help us to think differently. And I just want to leave you with this quote on this one from Simone Weil, who is an amazing movement therapist person, who says, at the very best, A mind enclosed in language is in prison. A mind enclosed in language is in prison. We move our bodies differently, we can move our minds differently. And I have a couple of book references for you there too. I'll send them all out. So, as I leave you with these three, can you be obliquitous? Can you go a different route? Can you demonstrate even more empathy because it's useful to you as well as the other? Can you change habits? Can you get out of acronym central, which we're living in right now? You know, everything's got to have 4 letters that correspond to something like SHIT. Can you apply those 3 things to what you are going to take forward? So here is our little breakout. Are we ready? Do they need to find one other person or?
Can I jump in? Thank you so much, Kay. I want to put it on gallery view so we can all give you a big fat applause. So everybody put it up here for you, Kay. This is a silent one. Thank you. That was fantastic. So we're going to go into breakout groups. This is our largest alumni town hall gathering ever. We have 94 people on right now, actually 95. Some people are continuing to come in. So we have 95 of us. So we're going to go into about 31 breakout groups in digital world. But for you guys who are having gatherings, so Leslie's group in Colorado, Liz and Manny's group in San Francisco, those of you who are gathering, the easiest thing is for you to just turn off your camera and to mute your microphone so that you can chat. You are welcome, though, to go into a breakout group. So I'm going to give you the option, whatever you prefer. So you will be put into a group of 3 video screens. So you may luck out and have a party and videos, or it may just be a few folks. So during that time, we have about 10 minutes set up for that. And you will then be able to speak a little bit about these topics that Kay just put forward for us about being obliquitous, developing empathy, changing habits. And we also had put in some suggestions if you were interested in sharing a little bit about how you have evolved since you've been home from MEA, however long of time that has been. Anything you may have noticed that's different, or friends or colleagues or family members who may have noticed or commented about you. So whatever direction you want to go, you get to have fun. If you have to hop off the call early, no worries, you can just hop off. So we're just going to pop everybody into groups, give you 10 minutes, and then I will be giving you a notice of when we come back in.
Just to elaborate on the prompt, Carrie.
Go ahead.
Yeah. What we'd like you to do is to consider what you have done more of, less of, and differently since you left here, and in particular what other people might have noticed. But then we would like you to take it on to a slightly more challenging question, which is, if you were to use oblique methods, empathic methods, and alternative somatic methods, what else might you do going forward from today? So 2 things: what have you already done? What have other people noticed? And what might you do if you were to throw in the oblique curve, the empathic curve, and the somatic? To ask you to do. However, first thing I would love to hear is if anyone has someone in their life who has noticed a change in them. So not the change that you have made yourself, but does anyone out there have a story to tell us about someone in your life who has noticed a change in you? And because Christine Sperber is here, I would like to say that even includes your dog. So if anyone in their life who has noticed a change, please pop up and tell us your story now.
So you can either just unmute yourself and just hop in, or you can raise your hand by down at the bottom on the participants. But we're all group here. You're welcome to also just open up your mic and jump right in.
Hello.
This is not a shy group. So if anybody wants to share some significant change they've noticed, please do. Okay, Pat, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a quick story. We had a guy in our cohort named Joshua, and he was part of the I Love You movement in California. And on day 1, I thought, this is the last guy I'm going to learn anything from in this week, because he was committed to saying I love you to everybody. Whether he knew him or not, he would say I love you. And at the end of the day, I went up to him at the end of the week, and I said, you know, Joshua, you were the last guy that I thought I was going to learn from. But I've been thinking about the fact that I grew up in a family that didn't say I love you a lot. And I don't say I love you to my own children and grandchildren as much as I should. So that's one of the changes that they've noticed in me, is that I'm following the pattern of my wife after phone calls and after we leave the house to say I love you more. And so for me, that's a real significant change. That's number one. Number two is I had somebody tell me I looked happier after I came back.
I hope you got to pop that, Pat, on gallery view so you can see us giving you a big visual I love you. I see Jennifer's giving you I love you. Got hearts coming on. That is so fantastic. All right, do you want to do another one?
I'd love to do another one.
Andrew.
Liz, is that who are you guys up there? Oh, Andrew, okay. I'm trying to find you. Who wants to hop in? You just have to unmute yourself.
I'm
looking.
asking in San Francisco to see if anybody wants to share. Hang on.
Oh, okay. All right, perfect. Leslie, how's the Colorado group going?
So for those of you, you can see Liz Gethard.
Yeah.
She's got us up on the screen.
Oh, right.
And everyone's watching in that corner, which is why it looks like she's alone. Liz, how many people are there in San Francisco?
Oh, hold on. Let me unmute you, Liz. Unless we're having a mute war. There you go.
No stories from San Francisco. We got a bunch of watchers here.
All right, perfect. Leslie, do you want to say hi, introduce the Colorado group?
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Leslie.
Okay.
Can you hear us? We're so to thank Carla for the great margarita recipe.
so good. Yeah.
I think I got really close to her margaritas, but not quite, because we're not there. Anyway, this is great. So you're asking me to answer the question on,
Or from any of the three of you, any significant change that you've noticed, or your best change from coming back from MEA?
no, I will share, because my life completely changed. I mean, like 180 when I left MEA, or through the process of MEA. I had been thinking about leaving a job that I was in for 7 years and relaunching my coaching business that I had done for a long time. And I had to get rid of the fears that I had, that I didn't even know really what they were until we went through the processes at MEA. And once I discovered what they were, it was like, it just vanished. It was like kind of a miracle. And I'm not, so to be able to have that strength and leave there and leave my job and start my coaching company. I've got a retreat planned for September. It's filling up with Susan, who's there, and I don't know where she is, but she's co-facilitating with me. Met her. Where are you? So super excited. And I think the biggest change that, and my friends and family would say this, is that I am just so much happier. I up-leveled my joy. I'm more me. And there's like this peace, and it's just ease, grace. And yeah, so I really, really appreciate everything that, that this tribe has done for me in my life. You know, just, there's so much more. I'm excited for more.
Yay, thank you. Awesome. All right, I'll push it back to you there. Okay.
We have a story in San Francisco if you're up for that.
Okay, bring it on, Liz.
We are. Yes, we are.
Hi, everyone. So yeah, I thought I would just jump in and tell a little bit of my story. When I came to, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
When I came to MEA, I wasn't in the greatest place, but I just wanted to say that, you know, it was so instrumental in terms of me and changing my kind of mindset and my kind of perspective on the world. And it's funny when you do that, how kind of good things come to you. I've got a number of different things that I'm working on that really kind of relate to, if you guys have read any of the David Brooks kind of reviews about the second mountain, a lot of this is really related to that idea of a second mountain and doing something that's more kind of closely aligned with who I am. And incidentally, I'm working on a concept for a gentleman in New York who was the founder of Plated, thanks to some connections I made at Lauderdale, their academy. And we're going to be focused on doing a social club for our demographic. As you guys may know, there are a lot of different social clubs that have popped up around the United States geared towards kind of Gen Y. And this is a social club specifically geared towards us, 45 plus year old market, people who are kind of at this second mountain and kind of thinking about what's next. So anyway, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody there. And we're going to try to create a place that is hopefully half as comforting and luminal as MEA was down in Baja. So.
Yay, awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, Kay, we'll toss it back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. What I just heard, don't laugh, guys, I start every sentence with what I just heard. I heard a wonderful spread of things there from, I said I love you more, I looked happier, all the way to I've started a social enterprise. I would just like us all to consider that saying I love you more, being able to make a great margarita, is as important, in my humble opinion, in the grand scheme of things. Because I think everything we do has a ripple effect. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh shit, I haven't started a company or a social enterprise yet, I would ask you to be gentle on yourself and say, well, have I smiled at people more? Have I made my friends a great margarita? So please don't let these big achievements put you off your small steps, would be my plea. I would love to hear now if anyone, as a result of the conversation you just had, has anyone got any new ideas for things that you might change going forward from this meeting right now?
Ooh, that's a good one. Anything you might change now. And while you're thinking about that, I just wanted to let you know, Kay and Chip, that Dan Simon said he's heading to the Ukraine on Monday to monitor the elections, and that's rather oblique. So there
Directly to the top of the class.
Yeah.
There you go. So you have both options available to you guys who are listening. You can text something, or you can do what we just did if you want to jump in. You want to rephrase the question one more time, Kay, really nice and loud, and then we will get some folks. Will W from Houston says he's flying to Mexico on Sunday to start building a van, and will spend the next year or so traveling and working remotely. Awesome.
That is
Anyone
amazing.
here who would like to share?
Hey, I've got.
Okay, go ahead there.
Can I say something?
Yep.
So I just had my 77th birthday last week. Significant time for me. And, you know, at 77, the job market's pretty much closed to me. So if I want to continue to work, and the only option open to me is really some kind of an entrepreneurial activity, which is coaching and health coaching and that kind of thing. But it's because of the time there and going forward, I've found the courage within myself to say to hell with what other people think. You know, I think Chip's famous quotation of facial discrimination hits me every day. You know, people look at me and they say it's an old fart, you know, and they just blow me off. And I got to get over that. And so what I've done over the last 30 days is I've committed to work LinkedIn, and I've posted LinkedIn videos every single day for the last 30 days. And I overcame that fear that, you know, oh, hell, I don't have anything important to say. Nobody wants to listen to me. And you'd be surprised, every single day I get 2 or 3 requests for LinkedIn connections, and my LinkedIn connections are just ballooning. So I guess my point is, get rid of those stupid mindsets that we burned up out there on the beach, because they hold us back.
Right on. Thank you, Pat. That was awesome. And you were told you had a great looking beard. So there you go.
All right. So,
Oh, really? Thank you.
Kay, thank you. Isn't she
Thank you,
great?
everyone.
We're so lucky to have you this week. We're going to wrap up with 2 last things. I'm going to have 2 folks who've come to Alumni Week tell us why they came and just introduce themselves to you. And then I'll do one last thought, and it includes every single one of the 35 cohorts we've had. Take it away, Leslie. Come on in.
Come on in.
Leslie, go first. Come sit here, Leslie. Who are you, Leslie, and why are you here?
I'm Leslie, and I have to say ditto to San Francisco, Leslie. I feel exactly the same. I came back because I had felt some things I've really not felt before. Those things were being deeply heard and seen, being deeply cared for, and having tender soul connections with everybody in the room. I had a better sense of integration, and I felt like I was welcomed back into the human realm. And so I said, I'm moving forward, anything I do now has to have those qualities. And so everything's changed since I now make those requirements into what I do. And I have left the corporate world, started my own company. I help technology companies have empathy, and they hate it. And so I happen to be oblique. So yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pablo, come on in.
Hola, snel alsjeblieft 3 konijnen in hebben. That's Dutch for may I have 3 rabbits, please. Hi, my name is Bruce and Pablo.
Awesome.
So I was here in April, and I guess I can characterize this experience I had in April as that MEA was like a midwife for me then, right? I came, and everything about the place, the physical plant, the people, everything here kind of nurtured and helped me through an interesting time. I left, and when I knew I had an opportunity to come back, I wanted to come back to share. Share because I feel grateful that I had this opportunity. So that's one of the reasons I came back, but also I feel that there's so much more to me to grow through. So I came back for a little more nurturing from Mom.